Hi everyone, and welcome to this preview video with my colleague Thierry Coste, Project Manager and Research Engineer at EDF R&D in France. Welcome Thierry, thanks for joining us today. So Thierry, you're going to be speaking at the 61850 Week 2021 event in October this year on the subject of top-down engineering. And specifically, you're going to be focusing on developing tools that support the functional specification of 61850 systems and enable utilities to be placed at the heart of the engineering and configuration process. So it will be great to find out a bit more about the work you've been doing and what you'll be sharing with participants at the conference. But let's start with the past year. It's been quite a significant year for everyone, I think, and I wonder how it's impacted your 61850 activities.
Finally, with IT resources put in place by EDF, at the end, our project have not been very impacted for what only call for the exchange of teams that does not use physical means such as a test platform. We have had experienced some delays in the supply of equipment, and but without consequences on our planning.
Okay, so some delays, but nothing significant really. You're still forging ahead and things are moving in the right direction. That's great. So what would you say, Thierry, is the most important 61850 issue that your group are working to resolve at the moment?
Today, our main activity is to define IEC 150 engineering process, and that allows us to maintain control of the data model at first via SCL configuration process on files from such the SSD for specification level or to the CD configuration file. In a top-down approach. This is our EDF approach to maintain and to have the control of the on the entire process of system automation. And the ICT configurator of the manufacturer have interpreted the IEC 150 standard, and which does not always correspond to our interpretation, and which must comply with the standard. And there is the whole question of the interoperability of the standard. This is why the specification stage is one of the main stage for, in our point of view, in the engineering process.
Okay, and so in terms of bridging this gap between your interpretation of the standard and the supplier's interpretation, how will the tool that you're creating help you bridge that gap?
Again, it's a top-down approach. First, it's a specification step, which is really important in order to be aligned with the manufacturers and the solution on the market, with our approach consisting to control the model, data model at the end.
Yeah, so the specification is really key in that process.
It's a key approach,
That's
yes.
the starting point. Yeah, okay. Okay, and so how far have you got with this new tool? What stage is it at now? Is it complete and ready to use, or is it still in development?
No, it's not complete right now. We are developing the first stage of specification, SSD generation, which allows us to be aligned with the functional specification with the IEC 150 specification. It's really an important stage again. And we are working on now on the generation of a SCD file. And another way is important for us is also to be able to simulate whole implementation with a virtual approach.
Right, okay. And do you have an idea at this moment what level of efficiencies you're going to achieve from moving towards this approach?
We have different tools on bricks of the tool, and one of them is RISE clips, which allows us to verify at first the conformity of the IEC 150 standard. Yeah. This is a really important stage in order to avoid some too much discussion between manufacturers and our approach and our tool. And we expect to be finished under the first version at the end of this year. To allow us to deploy on a new stage of substation. We'll have two level of voltage, transmission and distribution level. It's a mix on the high and medium voltage. And the tool will help us to define and to develop and to deploy this.
Right, okay. So Thierry, what will you be sharing with participants at the 61850 Week conference in October?
Yes, we will share with you our experience of this in using IEC 150 and standard, and where we are in our project to describe a new IEC 150 control level on mixing mixing high and medium voltage level, and we will present our engineering tools and the constraint related to the different implementation we was saying just before of the manufacturers. And we will also share on our future interoperability needs for managing system application, which is so-called now management system.
Right, okay. And as I understand it, your intention is to make this tool available to other utilities. Is that right?
It's right, including in the engineering process, because it's really important to have, this is the key of the success, to have the well-defined engineering process, having tools for that, but with a specification and having some rules of the engineering process well-defined.
Great. Okay. And final question. You've been attending the 61850 conference for a number of years now. What are you looking forward to experiencing at this year's event for yourself?
I think from my point of view, it's a good place for exchanging with our utilities and manufacturers and to know where we are of the level on interoperability with IEC 150 and also for the new application, because right now we can say that the IEC 150 is mature. But now we will have a new virtualization, a new approach, new application of the standard. And this is why it's always interesting with this conference to exchange with our colleagues and of utilities and manufacturers for the near future using IEC 150.
Great. Well, we look forward to your contribution, Thierry. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us today. So Thierry will be speaking at the IEC 61850 Week 2021 event in October. That's 18th to the 22nd of October in Gothenburg, Sweden, hopefully, but most definitely via the Swapcard virtual event platform. We look forward to seeing you there. Thank you very much, Thierry. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mandana. Have a good day too. Bye.